So now for a look at how the markets have been trading, we joined on the line by Ricus Reeders, who is wealth manager at PSG. Good afternoon to you, Ricus.
Good afternoon.
All right, so how's the JSE doing so far at the time of market close?
Well, we were down a little bit, not a little bit, quite a bit earlier this morning, but we seem to have picked up a little bit as the Americans opened, which gives us the all-share index is down just below 1% down. Financials, unfortunately, another 1.5% down, while resources down about 1%, and our industrials are getting saved by the likes of process and Naspers again, so that's only lost, let's see, around about 0.5%.
So Ricus, when we look at the global markets, I mean, like last week, we saw that things were not looking good with the Dow as well as the New York Stock Exchange. And when you move across, going to Central Europe as well, the markets weren't faring well. Are things really getting to be spurred up as the economies are getting to be opened up in stages now?
Yes, I think we last week was actually pretty positive, or at least the American markets ended up on a very positive note. But I think as people took stock over the weekend, and again as the fear of what this virus outbreak is actually going to do to the real economy starts filtering through. Today is a little bit more negative. As you've said, the Asian markets certainly took a sort of opened up positive, but went negative again. And we'll get an inkling of what this virus is doing to the American economy, with about a fifth of the top 500 companies releasing their earnings for the quarter this week. And it will sort of show the last few weeks of March, and we'll get an idea of how company earnings are going to look like in the year going forward.
Well, coming back home, the unions are having none of it when it comes to SAA. They are rejecting the proposals that workers should be laid off, and they are just calling this rescue process a sellout plan, because they're saying that there was a rescue process that was put into place, but there isn't any plan yet, so they have not looked at Section 189. What do you make out of SAA? Because last week, when government announced that they weren't going to fund SAA with that 10 billion rand request that they had made, there was talk that SAA was as good as its last flight. We're not going to see it again, but the unions are saying no to that.
Yes, I think it's, well, what are the facts of the matter? The government want to provide funding, and the liquidators has to go, as things stand at the moment, they really don't have any other option but to start liquidating SA, and obviously also start offering severance packages. At the moment, I think it's the liquidators have given their first offer, if I can put it, place that on the tables, and obviously the unions have to respond to that, and whether it be from an outright dismissal of the offer to looking at it and coming back with their own proposals. So I think it's a bit of horse trading going on at the moment. But this is all against the background of there literally is no money available from government to fund a restructuring. Then the only other options, by the look of it, right as it stands right now, is to unfortunately liquidate.
So, Ricus, where are you sitting? Are you able to get a sense of desperation from South Africans that, irrespective of the threat of COVID-19 on the lives of the people of South Africa, but they really want to go back to work? As you have seen also on the streets, people selling permits, people wanting to go back to trade. And there has been, this lackluster attitude towards sensitivity towards infections on the spread of this virus. Are you able to just compare as far as other economies opening up the market activity with staggers, that South Africa should now bring the context of economics, monkey see, monkey do, that they open up South Africa with staggers as well?
Well, it's a difficult one, and obviously I am no expert as far as that is concerned, but I think the one thing that we should focus on, and a lot of people are obviously saying, and it's also fairly logical, that if you impose a lockdown like this, then the relief that government owes people should be done efficiently and it should be done speedily. That's the first step. And I'm saying that in the light of a pandemic like this, what we would call has got a fat tail. In other words, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. And what is normal in other pandemics doesn't apply to this because we don't know what that normal is yet. So it is extremely important to not have a sort of a risk-return type of analysis because you do not know what the risk is. It can be very serious. And in light of that, what government owes the people or what they are elected for, in other words, to give help and provide efficiently and speedily.
Right, now coming back to the mining industry, as it has been announced last week by Minister Gwede Mantashe that the industry would partially open. Well, what's going to happen really, because we've been hearing that some workers have been going to honor their shifts at some mines throughout the country. Is this a good idea, or should mines wait until the decision by the president is made whether or not to extend the lockdown or to lift it?
Well, speaking with some of my friends in the mining industry, there seems to be great confusion as to what actually is supposed to happen on the ground. That's number one. Number two, I'm not sure how a mine operates at 50%. A mine is a mine. You can't just, like a factory, close half a factory. It is a mine after all. So, and then obviously, very importantly, lives are more important than anything else. Therefore, if there is a chance of the worker endangering himself or endangering somebody else, whether it be his family or his community, obviously that must take precedence and that must be provided for.
All right, thank you very much for making time. We're talking live there to Ricus Reeders, who is Wealth Manager at PSG. Well, that's our business news for now.